Good morning, Knobbie here. Just giving a little thought about how my trail was, the New England Trail. I did it in 10 days, and there were some pros and there were some cons. We'll start off with the pros. There were a lot of views on this trail. It was at the point, I remember certain days that the views, and I said this on the video, that certain days you're just like, oh yeah, there's another great view. Cool. But you know, it's funny, but there is a lot of views because a lot of it goes onto ridge lines, like ridge lines to ridge lines. So there are just tremendous views, which is very, very cool. Most of them, it seemed, that are western facing, but there was a couple that were eastern facing, and one of the eastern facing ones I waited till the morning just so I could get a nice little shot. And if you remember that was the sign that you could see Mount Monadnock in the background and stuff like that. It was very, very cool. The thing is, there weren't any big mountains to climb. There weren't any like 4,000 footers, so everything was very, very doable. You know, any big climb that you're doing, you knew wasn't going to last, you know, more than say half an hour or whatever. All of them were not very intimidating. Certain areas seemed very remote. So you think that you're in Connecticut, or you're in, you know, going by Springfield or something like that. You think that you're kind of real city bound, but you had a real feeling of remoteness. It seemed like a lot of the times, like there was no one around. And as far as the water, those certain times that you were on the ridge lines, yeah, there wasn't any water, but mostly, like I said, there aren't any big mountains, so any little mountain that you go up, you're going to be going down into the valley and to get in the water anyways. So so it was very, very abundant, the water. It wasn't really a problem. Only, you know, an issue like the first day for me, but really wasn't that big of a deal. I saw a fair share of wildlife. I love taking wildlife shots, and I saw everything from black snakes to gardener snakes. In one of my days, I saw a timber rattler, which is very rare to see, and I almost stepped on him, and he scared the hell out of me. So I was looking for beavers the whole time. I saw muskrat going across the water. Chipmunks were everywhere. Gray squirrels, and I saw one thing that I had never seen before. I didn't even know it existed, and I think they're related to gray squirrels, but I saw black squirrels. And so if you know anything about black squirrels, comment below, because I had never seen one of those before. And I saw plenty of deer, but deer are, I need to get a better camera or something, because whenever you see a deer in the woods, like after about a second or two, they're gone. So you don't have a chance of catching those on film. But I saw on one of the days, I'm going down this trail, and I look up, and I had to take a triple take. I saw a moose in the trail, and then when I got my camera out, by the time I got my camera out, the moose was like behind sticks, and you'll see it in the video. The moose, you know, just taking off, and they look like they're going slow, and then you try to hurry up and catch them to catch a video of them, and you go around a corner and they're gone. They're so good at just ditching you. So it's but that was in Massachusetts. So I was very amazed. But no beavers, no Bigfoots. So I'll tell you that story later. There was a lot of talk of certain areas. There was a lot of signs, and I've even heard that there had a lot of black bear activity in certain areas, but I didn't see anything. I really didn't hear anything. A lot of times you'll hear them, you know, scurrying through the woods. I didn't hear anything either. But there was so many incredibly beautiful parts of the trail. It was I was just taken back. It was just like old pine forests are the best. I mean, it just, because, you know, in this day, it just seems like all the pine forests are only like, you know, 50 years old. So when you come upon a pine forest that's old, it's really amazing. And And I love the forests where they're all mountain laurels, where it's like almost like going through a tunnel, just surrounded by green mountain laurel. Like any time of the year, it's green. And those rocky ridge landscapes were just very, very, very cool. I mean, I was amazed on how rocky Connecticut and Mass were. It was just, and obviously there was a lot of quarries, but that's why. And the people on the trail were amazing. They're very, very cordial. And it was funny, in certain parts, people would just be like, "Hey, how's it going?" And other people would stop me and be like, "Hey, are you a through hiker?" And I'd be like, yeah, I'm through hiking it. And they'd sit and talk for a long time. And very, very nice people. And a lot of the times you go up on these ridge lines, there's nice little cool things like very, very nice towers and nice parks on the very, very top of the hilltops. And I was amazed on how so close to home it really felt so out there. It was really, really cool. But there are some cons, and I want to let you know about the whole trail, because it's as far as the cons go, many of the single track trails were really, really nice, but there was a lot of double track trails that were formed from like ATVs and four-wheelers and stuff like that were you run into a mud bog and stuff like that, and it just, you got to try to get around it, and it just looks really nasty. And so that was kind of bad. The roadwalks were there were a few roadwalks, but they weren't bad at all. Not very long. Some were longer than others, but they weren't bad at all. It wasn't through like any real bad traffic or anything like that. So it was very easy. I went by just one Dunkin' Donuts. That's a con. I'm just kidding. Yeah, but one Dunkin' Donuts, so you can go with that. One part of doing this trail is the timing, and I learned that through experience. The first 5 days that I did it, because I did it in 10 days, the first 5 days I did it was just beautiful weather. And I think I did it before the mosquitoes really started coming out in the springtime. And the last 5 days were increasingly bad. I swear, I was just very thankful that I had brought long pants and a raincoat and a head net. And make sure you bring a head net, especially if you do it when I did it. Without them, I could not have completed the trail because of the mosquitoes. I mean, it was really at the very, very end, the last 3 days were tough. I recommend doing this trail, I would say, in late summer or fall or early spring, earlier than I did it, and do it maybe in April or something like that. And the thing is, it's cool because it's so close to home that when you're waiting for the snow to melt in the mountains up north in New Hampshire and Vermont and stuff, you can do these trails like the North-South Trail in Rhode Island and the New England Trail in Connecticut and Mass, and even the Mid-State Trail in Mass, and because they melt before the New Hampshire does, and so you probably could do them in March and April, and you'd have no problem. It would be great. So getting back to the mosquito thing, I made a mistake also of not telling my wife the exact spot to pick me up. I was just thinking, well, the last day I'll just send her a link on where I'm going to be. The last couple days, the cell coverage and stuff like that, is very, very spotty. So you can text in a lot of the spots, but you don't have any internet, so you can't send Google Maps, or you can't even use Google without the internet. So be very careful of going northbound. Be very, very careful about at the very end there. There's no 4G. So just remember. So This was, again, this was a fun trip. I hope that they increase building shelters and doing more trail restorations in the future. And they've done an amazing job. Like the trail is so well marked. There are certain spots where you'll be going down a trail and there'll be a quick left and the trail keeps going straight. And if you're not paying attention, you'll miss that. So that's why like having All Trails Pro and stuff like that is really, really good, because it'll tell you that you just missed a turn. So I'm thankful for having that. But for us hikers, like to do hikes in the spring, waiting for the snow to melt, like I said, this was great. So enjoy the trail, and I hope everyone has a good hike. Thanks a lot for coming with me on my hike and watching every day. And I tell you, there's more to come. Just wait. Thanks a lot.